in the room. Come on in the room.
Come on, look, I told one that she want to do one verse, two verses. She done got it together. Now, y'all, come on in the room and talk to Miss Vee and the crew. We ready for it. We ready. I've been waiting all week for this here day, and it's here. And we got so much, so I ain't gonna even waste any time. We gonna jump right in. We is so fortunate and we so blessed today to have Marcus in the house, and our special guest. And we like to get him because we like to kind of like jump on him. Yeah, we like to jump on him because he always got a controversy, and me and Wanda kind of like controversy.
I come in peace.
So if you here today, you might as well put your boxing gloves on.
He's swole enough for
it. I'm ready.
He like I'm in peace. He ain't never in peace. He ready for some situations like this. And baby, and I'm like that old saying, and you got the right one, baby.
Yeah.
Come on. I told him, I said, you guys want to say something right quick, because, we get started and I'll be forgetting sometimes. Sometimes I'll be forgetting folks here and I'll be going on into another level.
Well, this is Lawanda, and I just want you to know that if you hear something that moves you, or you want to talk about, or you want to chime in on, don't hesitate to give us a call at 708-223-8953, or don't hesitate to even come in the comment sections, and we can answer your questions, or we can chat with you a little bit. But we want to hear from you. If you hear something, say something.
I like that.
I like that one too. If you hear so, say something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here just to have fun. So I don't know any of the questions. I'm just here to be a little fly on the wall. And,
you gotta come off the wall.
I want to hear what's going on.
I love that. I'm to start off, I want to just give him something just to get him situated, just get him in the mood, just some one-liners, and so that we can something I was thinking about, and this has got nothing to do with what I wanted to put on place. But, just recently, my dog's sister passed. And honestly, he was sick that day. And I said, Max, you sick? And I said, what's wrong with you? And I was wondering, I said, he's real sick. And I said, when people are sick, we say, I'm sick as a dog. What do you say when the dog's sick?
He just sick. He just sick.
I said, Mac, you sick as a dog? You sick as...
Sicker than a dog?
You sicker than a... I didn't know what to say, because I said, Po Max. And I did not know till later on. I said, maybe he had some type he felt something, that his sister was passing. And but I didn't know that first thing that morning. He in there vomiting, and I'm like, Max, you sick as a dog.
He's like, yeah, I'm a dog. And I'm sick.
So dogs must get real sick. I don't have one.
Yeah, I said, you just don't really know. And, and honestly, it kind of hit the family because, they've been with us for a long time. So it's not like they just... 13 years, he'd been in the family, wow. Just being around, and, and it's Mac's sister. And he was sick that morning. And I'm saying, my God, Max. And then I told him, I said, you sick as a dog. and it just dawned on me. I'm like, man, some of this stuff we say. But you know what? To just get us started right off, I had a couple of questions, and you can just give me your one-line answers and just tell me how you feel about it. There was a first grader who came home, and apparently the teacher beat her. And then after the teacher beat her, the father came to the school, and he beat the teacher. So how do you handle that? So was the father wrong?
No. I say not. If you beat my child, that means
he beat her really bad.
Oh yeah. He deserved what he got. It was worth the prison sentence.
It was a she.
Oh, her too. It don't matter who it is.
So that was a man beating the woman.
It don't matter. And that was a woman beating a child. What's the difference? The woman is stronger than the baby. So the father's strong. He just gave her some of the stuff that his child felt, in my opinion.
I'm
Because
just listening to you.
I get it, and the reason why the reason why I say I get it is because one of the things I've learned that when emotions are high, logic is low, and in that moment, the first thing you would want to do is to go peel somebody's head. No, but I'm serious.
Yeah,
When
but
emotions are high, logic is low. The logical thing would be, what good am I doing if I'm sitting in jail? Whether I'm right or wrong,
yeah,
I hurt this woman or I hurt this man, and then I'm sitting in jail. So the logical thing to do would be to go through the proper channels and deal with it that way. But trust me, that's one of the most hardest things to do.
it is.
and not only that, the two wrongs don't make rights.
Yeah, but it make you feel better because you
Yeah.
see your child in pain like that.
People kill when they said two wrongs will make it right, but do they know
No.
that negative and negative equals a positive?
She positively won't touch another child.
That's
I'm not
physics.
doing it just for my kid. I'm doing it for other kids.
Physics,
I
yeah.
can see if you say she chastised them in such a way, and I can come and say, "This is look, we don't do this. I appreciate
but
you
you
don't."
can-
But you say beat. That's a whole nother level. That's like somebody on the street beating you. That's a whole nother level.
Yeah, but when you think about it, he had a lot of time to think about going up there, what he's going to do.
Right. I would have had that time too.
I would like to know
On
more
how
about
I'm gonna
that
do it.
story,
Yeah.
because the thing about it, like what was going through the teacher's
He
mind.
said, well, they just said that the child was keeping up too much noise. I mean,
Because
I
I've
gotta
seen
stay
a
off-
lot of videos.
I gotta stay off of YouTube because I promise
Yeah,
you, this.
Because I've seen a lot of videos when the teacher was defending themselves.
From a first grader.
Yeah, this is the first.
Oh, this is
Well,
a
first
grader.
graders are
Oh.
bad too sometimes too. I ain't gonna lie. I was in that
It's still a
system.
kid,
But
so
you
I don't
can't
know.
beat the kid.
Yeah,
You have
but
to
my-
ask the
But
principal
my
or
brother
somebody
say
to
you
come get
can
him.
break a horse. You tell me you can't break 2-year-old,
Right.
a 5-year-old, or 6-year-old. Come on.
It's a way you can get their attention. You don't beat a child. You can ask somebody to come and assist you if you get into that level that you can't take it anymore. You ask somebody to come assist you and to remove the child out of your presence, at least till you calm down and everything. It's harder for a parent. I can see if it's an older child, because the older child gonna try to defend themselves. But a little first grader and you are an adult and you beat the child. Yeah, I don't agree with that. And yeah, maybe I would be wrong to go and retaliate on behalf of my child and wait on them
But
to
you
get out of work and sit by their car and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I would be wrong, but it's a possibility that I do that. Either I'm gonna have to take the police up there with me in order for me not
make
to
sure
do that.
something is
Yeah, they have to be removed from that school and that class at that moment, because if you don't, then I'm not gonna be responsible for what I do, because that's a mental thing. When somebody hurt your child, that runs mental, and you like, I can protect them.
Right.
I can protect my baby, and I send them to a place where they feel like they should be protected and secure. So yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean these supposed to be one line of questions, but
I'm sorry.
that's okay. That's okay because I
a
know.
couple of one-liners. That's all you match them together.
I know. It be like that sometimes. How do you feel about dating at the workplace?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, thank you.
Why you don't? Why you say no?
No, thank you. If you have a dog, right? If you notice, if you put your dog in a cage, he will not use the bathroom because he don't go where he sleep. That's why. For that very same reason. That's why.
That's your money.
That's right. That's my money. That's my money. I don't want to do nothing that's gonna mess with my money. So I'm good. I stay away from no. And plus, you need a break.
Oh, now that's mine.
You need a break.
That's mine. I do not want to see you all day at work and then go home and I have to see you too.
Yeah.
Then I got to see you on the weekend too. Baby, I need to miss you some. I need to get away from you. I promise you, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to absence make the heart go. I need to miss you. Now I got to work with you, and I got to see you on. And then at the weekend,
That's what we'll start saying.
At what time? At what time am I supposed to be like?
And where can I go and talk about you at? And you sit right here in my face.
Yeah, that's too much.
I was it was the time that I was working, and this guy at my job like me, but I'm thinking we all just friends and everything. And that's why I never dated at the job. And I'm thinking we all friends. All of us, a group of us, always hang out after work. And then I came in one day and said, "Oh, I'm engaged." This man, cause he said like, "Don't be getting engaged," but he made a scene and cussed me out about some student.
And you didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
He felt like that.
Oh my God!
But they say usually you know it's in their eyes.
I said he probably like me
It's in
because
their
he always
eyes.
They say you'll know.
he always want to battle.
If that back in the day they used to tell
You took
you.
it though, didn't you?
I sure did. Cause I
See?
thought we were friends.
That's your fault. That's your fault. I'm gonna tell you that. Right
We
there.
friends.
That's your fault.
I ain't take no more after that.
That's your
Cuss
fault.
me out.
But they say if your person really like you, you can tell, cause eyes don't lie.
But
It's one I kind of think he liked me, but it's at work. And one is a little young.
You
He's
got cross-eyed?
50-some years old.
I got cross-eyed. Say the eyes don't lie. What you looking in his eye? What you looking in his eye?
I got that eye work going on. I got that eye work going on. I kind of feel it. He a little young. He's in his 50s. And then on that, I'm
you a cougar.
yeah, I thought about that. I said, yeah, but
I thought about that.
I thought about that. I said, I better be careful, because I always tell people, any man just have to be older than my son. My son is 45, so I think he have to be older to him. He had to at least be 46. So, so we'll be good.
They went to the same high school at 46. That was their class together.
I asked my son. I said, "Well, how do you feel about loving? Can you love two people at the same time? Can you love two?
Yeah.
You think you can?"
Mhm.
What that man Luther says, you can't love two.
Love two. Sure
Hey,
ain't
that ain't
easy.
easy.
It's not easy to do when you love them for the same reason.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very hard if you love them for the same reason.
you know that you
Because
you
I
like
love
that
you
movie.
for what you do, and I love you for what you do. So yes, you can love two people at once.
That ain't the same love.
Love. Yeah.
How not?
And love him and be in love.
Be like that. What's that movie with?
Because you have so many people that love you for what you can do for them, and they will love you to death. And there are some people that does absolutely nothing for you, but rather just give you a shoulder to cry on. You love them to death.
Yeah, but we talking about that other love. That love that I want to marry you.
I think you can do it. I think you can love two people at the same time.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you believe that this polygamy stuff that they doing is real love.
I don't know. I think it depends on what a person defines as love. Because for me, love is actually secondary. Some people, that's the top thing. Oh, I have to love you. For me, it's vulnerability.
Okay.
That's my number one thing. I'd rather give you my love first than my vulnerability.
So you can be vulnerable with two people?
Nope. I can't be vulnerable with everybody. I can only be vulnerable with a handful of people.
Well, my son
I can love
said.
many people.
My son said, "Yeah, because I want at least 5 wives." I said, "Dude, you first got to get one. Talking about 5. You can. You. I mean, how do you? Yeah, because
Yeah, 'cause
usually
you don't want 5 wives. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. You don't want 5 wives.
I said, isn't it ironic? The people that married want to be single, the people that single want to be married. And he up here talking about he want 5. I said, you got to first start with the one. You can't get one. Talking about 5.
Oh Lord, is it easy to love two? Anybody? Let
Well,
us know.
Well, they say, it's always been said that you're gonna either hate one and love the other. You cannot love two people. You can't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff you have to say on what measure are you measuring that, because they say you can't love two.
So why do people cheat and say I love my husband, but I don't want to let that person go and all that stuff? Is that real love or is that lust?
Because he or she loved what the other person was giving them. And that's why I say I think it's possible to love.
See, loving a person and not what they're doing. How do you love a person and you just love them? You don't have to do anything.
Okay, so then what's the difference between someone that stays with the man or woman that's extremely abusive and doing absolutely nothing in the house, but they go to him back and forth every day because I love him?
Are they scared of him?
And now it's because of what he do. It goes back to what he said. Now it's because of what he do. So although I don't love you no more, but I'm scared of you, so I'm here. So that's why I say it depends on it's not, yes, we can love the person, but whether you want to believe it or not, it was what that person did that even made us fall in love with them in the first place.
And then how do we fall out of love? Because I've seen people, how do you get married to me and love me, and then a month later, now we're in a divorce court because you don't want to be married to me no more.
When it's no longer enough.
No,
No, I'm being honest. When whatever it was that was holding you is no longer holding you tight. Prime example, when you go get your brand new car, or you go get, no, I take the back, not a car. You
Yeah,
go get
because
a new winter coat.
they'll get a car before they
You
get
go
a
get
one.
a good winter coat. A good winter coat. Keep
Mhm.
that frost off real good the first year you got it. The second you got it, still warm, but a little bit of that cold air starting to get in there.
Uh-huh.
That third year, it's time to switch coats.
Oh,
That cotton here is not as strong as it used to be. It's no longer strong enough to keep it.
that actually was not a good example.
Yes, it is. When it's not enough to keep you there.
Because I do believe that you ought to keep a log on the fire. I remember we talked about that. Yeah, I do. You have to keep a log on the fire, but you ought not be changing the fireplace. You ought to just be getting another log.
What are you doing that's keeping that log there?
Keeping it lit.
Do you love him?
You got to keep that lit.
So do you love him?
If I would not have married him if I didn't love him.
So who is the other log that's on the fire?
No, I ain't talking about another man.
Is that what you got to?
No, I'm talking about another.
I just keep it lit.
That's what I'm saying. You have to keep another log. You know what I mean? You got it. Maybe you want to switch up top to bottom, or front to back. Something you may want. I don't know. You may want to switch.
So you're saying you want to keep the home fire burning,
right?
And by doing that, you change the positions and doing other things.
Do other things.
Don't
not
add
change.
To it.
Don't add another person in the equation.
Yeah, I thought you were saying you always got. Something like you said, got to keep a spare tire. That's what I thought you were saying.
Oh, you talking about keep another person?
I'm like, oh, she keeping it.
Oh, y'all finna say you a little spicy.
Okay, as long as they just me. Okay.
God,
a little spicy. Okay. We're gonna need that 55-year-old, 50-year-old come on, step his game up.
I know.
Well, he said he got at least be 46.
And he had to quit that job. He can't be at the same job working with me.
But you gotta refer him somewhere. You need a referral. Oh, Lord.
I mean, well, in that case, do you think that if a person is suffering from erectile dysfunction, should he tell you?
Of course he should. Because then,
and how soon should he tell you? Should he tell you in the beginning? Should he tell you after he find out that he want to be with you, or the first day he meets you and he say, you know what, ain't no need of us going no farther, baby, because I got some issues.
First of all, if he know he got them many issues, he should be trying to talk to nobody.
That's just one issue.
But
that's a lot of issue.
Dynamic of the relationship, because if we together, like we in a relationship, I guess you would want to explain this is what, because my biggest thing, what I'm thinking about, you don't want the woman to feel as if it's her. Is he not attracted to me? Is if I'm not, if I'm not doing it for him. But if we just are having a sexual relationship, there's pills for that, and you don't know nothing. I'm gonna be straight by the time I get there. You ain't gonna know nothing. You gonna think I'm the best thing walking. But if you my woman, I don't want you to feel this problem down here has anything to do with you. But if I'm just coming over in the middle of the night every now and then, you ain't gonna know nothing.
I'm only gonna come when the pill is working.
Yeah, I'm gonna come with my subscription, come in, and you will know. All of a sudden, I'm starting to call you all the time. Like, you start telling your friends, his mail must have came. His subscription must have came in. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just certain things, you want to keep the communication open, and you don't want no miscommunication, because when you start, to me, it ought to be with some purpose in the first place. You're dating. If you start dating somebody, you ain't just dating to be dating, or just dating to have, but to go to bed.
You think
you dated?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you think he took you out to dinner and everything, spent one day with you, he's supposed to tell you all his personal business.
No, moment? He ain't got to, but you start opening up gradually. You know how far we want this thing to go. At first, y'all to let me know that, I would like this to go a little farther. But I know if it come to the heated positions, Oh, you got to at least explain.
See, but that's the thing. I feel a lot of times, even to with that question, we have the assumption that men don't have emotion or not as emotional as women, because just as well as you want that man to open up with you fairly early in a relationship about his ED, what if a woman can't have children? Should she tell him that? Should she just open up and say, you know what, by the way, since I'm not doing this, I'm doing everything with a purpose. If you look for kids, don't talk to me. Like, so we hold stuff sacred to us as well, as just as well as that woman may feel less of a woman because she can't have children, or she feels as if she can't hold children within her womb. Men feel the same way. When you go from being a stallion and all of a sudden you don't know what's going on, that can be very
But the
detrimental.
women can always just, even if women can always fake the stallion, men can't fake.
See?
Men, you either got it or you
See what I
ain't.
mean?
You either got it
But
or
she
you
got a
ain't.
point. She do got a point there.
Baby, you got to get real. You got to go through the doctor and look through records to see about the woman.
But this is another thing too with a woman that can't have children. A man, even if he older,
Mhm.
and he probably don't want to have children. Should an older person also disclose what happened to her? Like,
Well,
if
more than
she
likely,
had
if
to
you're
have
an
a
older
hysterectomy?
man who got the ED, so it's the same thing. So we need to figure this out. Are we tired of this conversation over Mingo? On the what they call it, on the casino bus tour? We know we having this conversation. I just need to know when we having this conversation.
Oh, Lord.
Ah,
But a lot of time it ain't old people. Sometimes it's young people with sicknesses and stuff too.
It
right?
is.
Wanda, you remember you just mentioned that thing about the you was at you was listening to the show, and the man and the woman was staying in the same house and wasn't having any sexual relationship. They was married
They were married.
and wasn't.
That's why he was in divorce court.
Yep. I don't even need to know nothing else happened in their house. There it is, right there. There it is.
Yeah, but you make it seem like that's the main thing, or the
Oh, if it ain't one, it's 1A. It's right there. If it ain't the main, it definitely ain't the side.
Oh
It's
Lord.
definitely ain't the appetizer. That's the main course.
Okay, I gotta put in this disclosure. Do you all do you all think that if a man has erectile dysfunction and he's trying to talk to a woman, should he let her know, or should the woman tell the man that she is unable to have children? Just even in their dating process. Let us know what you're thinking. You can give us a call at 708-223-8953, or you can put your comments in the comment box.
Yeah, I just think it depends on the dynamic of the relationship. And we just linking up every blue moon, I'm not telling you nothing.
It ain't none of your business.
None of your business.
Well, I'm how crippled I am.
I'm not introducing you to my parents. I'm not doing none of this stuff. Don't worry. When you're ready, I'll be ready. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. You won't have no words. When you're ready, I'm ready.
They sell them at the gas station. All you gotta do is get a fill up.
Oh, see, I don't know.
I see them.
I don't know where he at.
I see them hang them up there.
From what I heard.
well, I was just listening to do you agree with her, the Kiki Palmer, and she was just saying, I don't never want no man to give me no money. I don't want you to give me no money, because if you give me money, I feel like now I owe you, or now you expecting something. Keep it straight. Well, you don't have to owe me. I don't have to know you. I don't want you to give me nothing. Do you agree with her?
If I had her money, I would.
Come on.
But I ain't got it, so I want it.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't think it's about the status of how much money she has.
I
or
don't
how
think
much
she
money
would have
she don't.
said that if
she been
if she didn't have it.
If she
didn't have it, she would not have been
Okay, but
saying
how
that.
about the women? But how about the women that any and everything that she thought was some? You just said yourself, the guy that was giving you your lunch, you thought he was just being nice.
Mhm.
So now, how many women would have thought, man, I just thought this guy was being nice, but all of a sudden, when the you see the light starting getting dim, they're rubbing their hands together. So now she having her mentality, I don't want a man to give me nothing. So I don't even think necessarily, not all the time, it has to actually do with her status of having money. But if you've been in situations where you know that anytime a man give me something, he's looking for something in return, that's probably why her mentality is that way.
Well, we were just talking about that. If you knew from the beginning, I've never asked you. I never. You never asked me to date you. I don't know nothing about dating you. We never ever had this conversation. And you want to bless me. You want to feed me. You want to give me a few dollars. Why wouldn't she take it?
Because I'm gonna tell you this now. I don't know every man in the world, but I can tell you this: not one just want to wake up and say, you know what? I just want to bless this woman, and I don't want nothing from you behind it.
But the same guy who was giving me money was doing stuff for the other women at my job as well. So, but he didn't feel the same way about them that he did about me. So that's why I felt like it was innocent. If you giving them what you giving me, so we all agree.
You ain't doing nothing different with me.
Nothing different. But in his mind, I'm winning you because I'm nice too. So I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna fix. Hey, let me bring you a plate and let me do this and that. I'm gonna be nice to you because you're being nice to me. However, he was being nice to other people too. So I didn't think none of it. But if you are trying to pursue me in a dating career, dating fashion and everything, and you want to continue to bless me, now you ain't got to pay none of my bills. You ain't got to take care of me. But if you said I want to bless you and put something in your hand, I'm gonna take it.
Like you said, Auntie, it's all in the ass. I'm being honest with you. It's all in the gifts because I can give you something on 3 different days, and you will know which one is the gift I'm giving you, saying I want this to go further. Same nice guy, same, hey, how you doing? You can feel it in the hug. I hug everybody. But I guarantee you will know, like, oh, he means somebody's hug.
Yeah, you can tell something about some people with their hug because I'd be like,
and it's the same thing with the gifts. I can bring you breakfast every single morning, but it's gonna be something about something. This egg look different from the eggs you gave her. Trust me. Trust me.
It gotta be a real good gift.
You know, I just saw this thing here because I'm gonna have to stop watching YouTube because I'm telling you,
it's addictive.
It's getting me crazy. I mean, I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, nah, this don't make no kinds of sense. I'm getting mad at this stuff. Yeah. And I just saw this man, and the man wasn't doing anything. She got out of the car and she went to beating him with this here stick and just beating him. And the man, you know, he was trying to stop her and holding her off. Then a few minutes, baby, he took that stick from her and started beating her. Was he wrong?
I'll let you answer that.
I don't know, especially with situations like that, you want to get like the whole context of it. Because was she getting tired of him beating her before she started swinging the stick, and the camera just caught it, and all of a sudden he fighting back? So it's almost like you need to get the whole full context of it. So I just feel I'm definitely in a place now. I just try to avoid any situation that if I have to be with any woman that you make me mad enough that I have to put my hands on you, need not be around.
Need to be.
That's right.
That's the way it should be.
Even with people, if I'm around a friend or anybody that I feel
takes you to that level,
that would take me to that level, that we can't have a mutual adult conversation about whatever it is that's bothering us, I need not be around you.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I today before I got here, I seen a lady and a man in I think it was Dollar Tree. He walking through Dollar Tree. She followed him through Dollar Tree, and then she grabbed his hair and she was pulling him out. And I could hear the guy said, "Don't do nothing, man. Don't do nothing, bud." And that's what you call it, violence or domestic, or she calls it domestic. And he kept on throwing his hands up, but at a certain point, and she pulled him on the floor. Everybody trying to get her off of him, and he wouldn't do nothing. He kept throwing his hand. At a certain time, he wanted to punch. He did like this. They said, "No, don't hit him, man. Don't hit him."
Sad. And you know what they're doing right now? Eating.
That's crazy.
And that's the sad part about it. They're somewhere having dinner right now, and they laughing at what happened earlier.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't do this if I ain't love you. You see how much I love you. See how you making me do? And it's sad that that's where we at. That's the way we prove and show our love now.
Oh,
I'm gonna show you how much I love you because I know you said you went out with your girls, but I'm gonna blow you up all night.
All night.
Why? When you told me where you going?
That's crazy. Yeah, that is.
I can't be with somebody. I got to put a tracker in their car, and I'm driving behind you to see if you really where you
for real.
I'm following you and I'm missing out doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And
they not controlling you. You just controlling yourself.
But this is where we at now. I'm telling you, this YouTube is showing everything. They taking pictures, and you know we already. How many times we talked about this? Filming these women and they are fighting and they half naked and all over the streets, and they probably got children and babies and everything somewhere.
That's not even the sad part. how many accidents you will see a person in the car sick, leg almost cut off because in the accident, and you can see everybody with their cameras and not one person down 911, but they're recording the accident.
Yeah.
And that's just where,
Our mindset is.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody need views, everybody need clicks. I want to be the one to show this accident off the expressway, but then down 911 and say, hey, there's a car on fire, but they want to film it. So
Yeah,
You know what?
that
I
was
I
sad.
seen something. I told y'all Facebook, YouTube. Everything I see. Woo, Lord, I'm messed up. But the man was on Facebook. He said he's 46 years old, and he was just really crying because out of all these 46 years, his father has never been there, and it still to this day hurts him just that bad.
Has he ever met his father?
Yeah, he met him, and he said, and then he met him, and the father told him, I was on drug, I didn't have my life together, and he still ain't build no relationship. But the man is still bleeding. I need to know. I need some answers. I need you to know why everything I've been through, everything I accomplished, you have never been there. And I have to get a bag up daddy. And he's still to this point at 46 years old, still crying and hurting. And that's why he tried to be at everything that his children are doing because he never had it in his life. Now, do you think that's good?
Me personally, I think pain is pain, and if you don't get closure from it, because you don't never know what a person need on the inside, and it sometimes it never goes away. Even he met his dad, and you never been there for. It's just like if you done came from your mom, and you met your mom, and she done put you up for adoption, and you never get that closure. I feel like pain is pain, and until he actually get it from his dad, not even just be there, but began to releasing himself on YouTube and telling his story and telling how he feel. That's a sense of getting freedom in his heart. But I can't say that it wouldn't hurt because yeah, I can't say when you're supposed to turn it off because that's still your parent, no matter what. That's still your parent, and you still need to know. You want them to be proud of you. Everybody want their parents to be proud of them.
I
Everybody
think
want
he
their
said
parents to
that.
have their relationship, or just say something good, or get that hug just that genuine hug from your parent. And so I can't say if he's wrong for hurting because if I probably would too.
I'm not gonna say it's it's wrong because I always had my parents there, and I never want
Exactly.
to put because I never, for example, I never really believed or thought anxiety was real until I experienced it. And
That's
so
real.
to actually say the whole thing about, oh, he should just let it go. It's been 46 years. You never know what a person may desire or crave for as it relates to parents. I watched the show just last night. It almost seemed very similar. This guy was one of the most famous chefs in London. Never knew his mother for 45 years. Somebody reached out to him and said, I'm your mother. He spent every dime he had because she told him, oh, I'm about to die of cancer. He did all of this to find out that she was a con artist. But he
Oh,
was longing to have a mother so like everybody's telling him, dude, she's a con artist. She's taking your money. He spent, I think it was over $300,000, like all his savings just to be with his mother. And he'd never seen him in 45 years. But everything he did was to see his mother. And she was a con artist. And so and the part of me like, dude, how you doing? You just met this woman. But it goes to show
Yeah.
after 45 years, he still was longing to just have a mother's love. So
wow.
I never, say how long it should take for somebody to get over
You
their parent.
can't, but you know what? The only thing that I kept saying when I was listening to it and just looking at him, and I mean truly breaking. He done accomplished stuff, and
Mhm.
nobody said, and you wasn't there, and I did it without you being there, and now I long for it. And he just pretty much, I don't know what he wanted his father to say. I need some explanations. I need to know why you wasn't there. I need to know, and I promise you, no matter what the father tell him, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't have healed him. Because when you hurting, it's like I can tell you all the things you want to hear, but at the end of the day, the pain gonna still be there. At some point, you have to gather and feed all that into your children's. Sometimes that can even sometimes backfire. How many kids got parents got them, and then don't appreciate them?
I think the pain will still be there, but it's a different pain.
It's a different,
And the
yeah.
reason why I say it's a different pain is something about transparency. It's almost like when if a cop pull you over and you don't know why he pulled you over. You just mad because he pulled you over. But something as simple as saying, Miss Benson, I pulled you over because you ran that stoplight. You feel, although you still mad, you still got pulled over, you still ran the stop sign, but it was something about him explaining to you why he did it. So I think he's probably looking at, it's not going to change the fact that you still weren't here for 40
You're
some
right.
years, but the mere fact that now I have a conversation. No, a good example of that is Jay-Z. He had an interview where he said he hated his father all those years until he actually met him. Then he found out my father couldn't be there and didn't know how to treat me because he was never shown how to be a man. So he looked at all the years that his father won there a little differently. So I think that transparency will help a lot within knowing why a person did what they did.
And and I know you. This is something totally off the script, but I went to the cafeteria to get me a hamburger. When I went to get the hamburger, I said I want to give me a double cheese because you know the meat's so doing little. I said you need two meats to make it feel like you're eating a sandwich. So I said give me a double cheeseburger. You know, give me two meats. Man, we can't give you two meats because we running out. And I was finna get mad. And she said, no, we ain't got no more double. I said, you ain't got no more. She looked at me. We running out of meat. So I said, oh, okay.
See,
You know, so you understand.
You about to get mad. You act like it's your meat.
Yeah, I can get two. What you mean? I'll pay for the two meats if I got two. She said, he running out of
You'll be
meat.
so surprised if you just explain
Yeah, sometimes you just
transparency to why
it does. It helps a lot. I just threw that in there because it came at such a good time for this. Yeah,
No, but that's true.
I
So
mean,
you about to get mad to explain.
because I'm like, hey, you don't gonna tell me to spend my money. You ain't got. So when she did say that, I was, oh, you trying to save some for the rest of the people. Then when she got through with about two more people, we ain't got no more.
Might well get you the
You might as well gave me the two pieces of meat. You just waited one past me for to say you ain't got no more. What kind of craziness was that?
Oh my goodness.
You know what? This is something, since we on this here about these kids, because I ain't gonna even go downtown because I promise you we need to figure out a thing for that. And I even said they need to figure out an answer, but we ain't gonna talk about that. There was
they got the answer.
They do?
Yeah. You hold up until your kid is 17 years old, you're accountable for your kid.
They used to do that, didn't they?
Not like that. They accountable. If I pick your kid up, they did XYZ. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna hold you. You're gonna get a strike, but your mama finna pay for this.
Or your daddy.
Yeah.
I know they was doing it in Memphis.
I know they do it in Cleveland too now.
Yeah, they said it's
we need to
and
do
it's sadness,
something.
but it's gonna have to do it. If things are just getting too out of hand. But there was a 26-year-old girl. YouTube.
Take it off TV. Take my subscription.
I tell you, I think they're gonna fire me for being on it too much. 26 years old, she done moved in with her mother, and she has a baby. And then the mother just simply said, "We just trying to have an adult conversation." And then the girl started cussing her out and calling all kinds of bad names. You know, not no little names. I'm talking about some really, 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 really names. Yeah. And so the mother slapped her. And then she called the police on the mother. And then
the 26-year-old?
26 years old. Yeah. And then they they came to arrest the mother.
Yeah, I think I saw that. That mother said, "Yeah, I slapped her." She said, "I slapped her."
Yeah, I slapped her. Disrespected me.
She said, but she also said, if I had raised her myself, maybe she wouldn't have turned out this bad. She said, because I was on drugs, I was out there, I didn't raise her, but she said, I'm in a better place and I'm trying to help her, but I don't care what I'm on. You're not gonna disrespect me. I would have slapped mine and took the jail. Yeah. Yeah.
Go back to what we were saying earlier. When emotions are high, logic is low. Because if I'm getting a story right, she moved a 26-year-old in with her, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't really get the chance to stay. That was the first day, wasn't it?
It hadn't been, because she was telling her, there's rules in here. You got to get a job. You got to, do something.
And that's what I'm saying. When emotions are high, logic is low. We didn't have to go that far. All she had to do is go back out.
Yeah, but no, she didn't want to do that. Now she telling her, and and she has a baby.
Yep.
So you trying to help your kids and stuff. I'm telling you, that's why I say, here's somebody over here ain't got no mother and a father,
Yeah.
wishing they had what you got.
Yep.
And now you got it and don't know how to treat it.
Got all kind of bees
Because
and names.
so if I got a child and a child is talking to me like that, so what would be the consequences? I asked my son, I said, because I had a long conversation with him. I said, if you
type to be reading and watching stuff like that. What this got to do with me?
I asked him, I said, what would happen if what would be the consequences if you did this? And the parent, Mama, you just got to forgive them. You got to love them. You birthed them out.
And that's why you don't let them talk to you like that, because you birthed them out. They should be at a level
He
of
said, you got to
respect.
forgive them. That's what he said, that's what the Lord say. I mean,
got you good.
Yeah, and I'm saying to myself, I'd be glad you can reminisce on stuff that you do.
Oh, we put them all out there. No, but
I said you have to be careful on this thing. You be saying everything.
But you do feel a sense of want to knock them out if they disrespect you, no matter what age, because you birthed them and you're trying to help them. And it should be a place that at 26 years old, that girl should have been afraid of her mother already, too afraid to disrespect her to that magnitude already. So somewhere down the line, she lost respect for her mother, and I believe it's when her mother said she was out there on drugs. She didn't raise her, and she probably didn't want to talk to her like that, but the anger in her and the rejection in her and all that stuff came up anyway, because it was doormat.
And she said it. I just wanted to have an adult conversation with her.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hearing you say that, and she said, I just want to have an adult conversation with her, not making any excuse for the disrespect that daughter may have had towards her mother. But there's a lot of times, and take the parent out of it. Imagine your boss coming to you, telling you need to be at work on time when you know they late every day. You have someone in your mind, like the nerve of you to tell me to be on time and you late every day.
Do as I say. That's the thing.
And it's almost, and I can almost imagine when you say, I'm just trying to have an adult conversation with her. Like I said, not excusing the disrespect, but I'm sure that daughter's probably looking, where was this conversation when I was 5? Where was this conversation when I was 8? Where was this conversation when I was 10? Now you want to come and tell me what to do?
But see, I guess that's because I'm on another spectrum. Because I don't care if I am wrong. If I'm in my house and you in my house, we ain't need no conversation. Just pack your stuff and go.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear what I gotta say. What I'm saying is not what you want to hear. Leave.
Yeah, because the mother could have called the police and had her put out as well. And then I can guarantee you that grandmother on the daddy's side that raised her, she not gonna go talk to her like that. I can guarantee, because she showed her love and compassion. So that's why I feel like, now that I'm really reminiscing it in my head, I feel like the hurt came out of the girl. The little girl came out, not the grown woman. And like, you supposed to help me. You didn't do it all these other years.
And that's why I was thinking when I was listening to the rest of it. That's why I was getting from it.
And a lot of them, they think that like 15, because you can look at 1,000 things you did right. All you got to do is do one wrong, and now all of a sudden everything that went out the door.
That's a good question. I got questions for you then. This is probably off topic. I got a question since you said that.
Yeah, and I see it.
Do you feel that there should be certain entitlements because of title and not based off merit and behavior? Meaning, should I give you a certain type of respect just because you're my auntie versus because you've shown yourself to be respected, or as my auntie or my sister? Do I have to treat her like she's my sister just because we got the same mother and father, or because she's showing herself sisterly? Do you feel that you should be treated a certain type of way just off title alone?
Well, I feel that honestly, yes. I think that you ought to, even if I'm the worstest auntie in the world, which I'm not.
You're not. You're not at all. Not even close.
You ought to just automatically, and I always tell my kids that, I don't care what they doing. That's your uncle. That's your auntie. That's whatever. Because at the end of the day, it matters not how they treat you is how you treat them.
That's it.
Because you can't answer for nobody but yourself. So make sure. I would even tell them that when they went to school. I said, when you go to school, you just be obedient. Do what you're supposed to do. If the teacher's out of order, call me. Let me address that. Let me handle that. Don't you never ever try to cross no lines to get into no adult space or your uncle. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they acting. You respect them and keep it moving. But I think that just because the fact of this is my brother's sister, I'm giving you a pass, even when you don't even deserve one.
I agree with that.
I agree to disagree in a sense. And the reason why
Wanda,
I say,
you know you have to come on with him. Ain't no need
no,
of you
I'm
saying I agree.
serious.
You got to
In a
you got to
sense,
break on down with
in a
him.
sense, I agree to disagree. And the reason why I say that, it takes the onus and responsibility of the person to show themselves sisterly, brotherly, or even friendly. Because if that's basically almost like giving someone a get out of jail free card. Because if I automatically tell you, no matter whether you right or wrong, I'm going to treat you the same way. You don't have to show up for me when I need to be shown up for. You don't have to be there to be my shoulder when I need one. I'm always going to be your friend. That's giving you a get out of jail free card.
No, you don't have to tell them I'm gonna show up for you. I'm gonna be there for you. You respect. That's what you said. Respect. And I always like you. I tell my kids, I don't care if you see my siblings on the curb, drugged out, whatever they are, you're gonna still respect them. And if it's any issue with them not showing you unclely love or whatever, tell me. I fight your battles because that's what it is. And then as you grow older, and as they grow older, hopefully that sickness or whatever they got will go away. Even if it's your sister, that's what your parents to deal with. Because you're not gonna always be in the house with them, and you can choose to be around them or choose not to be around them. But when you come around, you give the respect that you want. And if they desire you not to give it to you, you go the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to show up every time for them. You don't have to show up. They can say, "Oh, I need money for my rent. I need money for this." I don't have it. Do what you do. You don't have to be there, but you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be belligerent. You just have to show respect. That's what they say. Give respect, and it comes back to you.
I had a question for you all about this topic. My mother is mentally ill, and she used to live with us because incidents in her life that led her to have to come live with us. And at times, she would make me so angry due to the mental illness that I would feel myself wanting to yell at her. And then I said, my children are watching me. They're going to be yelling at me because they see this. And I said, she can't stay here like this because I'm changing my children's lives.
Right.
But I'm not going to disrespect my mother, but my mother's mental illness causes issues in the home where I have to say something to her. And then her responses back are not necessarily respectful of, you're in someone's home.
Right.
My husband lives here. You have to be respectful of everybody's space. It's not just you and our space. He gets some kind of he has to be respected too in his home that he pays for too. And so it can't just be you just because you're the elder, you get to treat everybody how you want to in his home that he pays for. And so I was like, I don't think my mother can stay here if it causes me not to always have to treat her. I want to be able to treat her with the utmost respect. So I want my children to see me be, but it was hard when in her mental state would cause her to do things that would make me just want to respond, not like you should with the mother. And that's when I said, I'm gonna have to have my mother leave here. This isn't good for my children. I was raised, my mother was different with me. My mother had a mental breakdown at some point in time. And I was like, and I had a mother who showed me, she treated my grandmother with the utmost respect. I'm having a hard time doing this. And it's hard to do it with how her illness was making her behave. And I was like, I think I can't have her stay here and have my children see this kind of between us. It's not good for my children.
You can't get somebody to come in and like help out and everything, and then explain to your children that this is not really how grandma is.
I wound up telling them that your grandmother is sick. So everything she does is based from her illness. It's not how she is or who she is necessarily. The illness creates this behavior. And unfortunately, I had to not have her live with her. It was a multiple of reasons, but that also played a factor, that respect that I feel she deserved no matter what.
Right. She does.
No matter what, as being your mother, you give her some level of respect. But I will say we weren't being treated with the same respect at some points in time. And that's not her being, because that's not how she raised me.
Right.
It was the illness that was playing a part. And I realized that I wanted to always show my mother the utmost respect. So therefore, I needed to alter something. But I see the point where it's hard sometimes, because then you sometimes think, I don't care who it is, you can't do this.
Yeah, and that goes back to I don't know if I did, but I probably did. If I said, do they still deserve the respect? That's definitely not the word I want to use. I feel everybody deserves respect. But what I was trying to get at is the idea of, that's why sometimes people are closer to their friends than they are their own family. Because some people, friends, would treat you more like a brother, more like an auntie, or more like a sister than the people who is actually have that title.
That's true.
And I think so often people lean upon those titles like, oh, I'm your mother. Whatever I say, go. No, but you're not respecting me the way a son should be respected. Or you're not respecting me the way a brother's supposed to be respected. So, no, I'm not going to look at you like a brother. No, I'm not going to look at you as a sister, because you're not showing yourself sisterly.
But what could stop you from looking at them, regardless of how they portray themselves? You know, even if I have the worstest whatever brother or whatever, and I ain't got the word. I'm sorry, I better go back and clear that up, because they gonna say now that we done counted our brothers. Which one you talking about? I better clear that up.
They're gonna be at the table. Which one
you talking about?
Man, I don't know if it was you or not.
And honestly, I got really good brothers. I gotta make sure I say that. I got really good brothers. But if they were not good brothers, they would still be my brothers, and they would still hold that title, and I would still honor them. Because I say this, and I don't know how many times I've said it on the podcast. At the end of the day, God knows what He's doing. He chose that. He picks them, and who am I to change what he joined together? So by any means necessary, I'll try to make sure, if I got to take less, if I have to take the lower road, if I have to say I'm wrong, even though I know I'm not, if it means I give, even when I think I don't, I'll just do it. Because it's something when it says, are you a peacemaker or a peace breaker? What would you do to mend the fence? What would you do to keep peace alive if it takes just a little bit? As much as I believe I was a good daughter to my mother and father, as much as I believe it, I still ask myself, did you do enough?
You did.
Yeah.
Because the one thing, when you got it, you just don't know what it's like until you lose it.
That's right.
So you appreciate and you hold on to every little thing that you can do, so that there'll be no regrets.
No regrets.
And whatever reason, you keep smiling, you keep on shining. And I told you, sometimes I come in and I be like, oh God, who am I going to see today? And then there's other days was good days. And all your good days, they will outweigh your bad days.
That's absolutely.
And you said, ain't nobody told me that the way was going to be easy. All I got to do is just keep on walking, keep on thinking, and knowing that I had a mama. I knew my mama. And even when my days did not always work out all right, it always came and said, when it was good, it was good. And when it was bad, it wasn't that bad. Just be grateful.
When it was bad, I thought that was coming. It wasn't that bad. Okay.
When it was bad, it wasn't that bad.
Somebody had it worse.
Oh my God. And when you think about it, and every now and then, that's what you, and I'm finished, but every now and then, that's what you have to do. Because sometimes you have to stir your memory, because you'll get so caught up in your present situation, what you're going through right now, what somebody done put you through. But then when you start to thinking about it, it could have been me. It could have been worse. I could have been put out. I could have been aborted. I could have been. So when you start to thinking about a lot of stuff, you say, you know what? It wasn't that bad at all.
Wasn't that bad.
So you just have to be grateful. And that's why I think that even with my nephews and my nieces and stuff, I don't even have to call them every day, because I know they love me. And what you know, you ain't got to explain. And you ain't got to question it when you know it. And when I know that I know, They love some me. And that makes me feel tall when you don't feel like you is. And it'll lift you when you don't feel like being lifted. It'll make you feel like running when ain't nothing behind you. When you know I got something coming behind me. I got to fight this fight. I got to do what I got to do. And you can. And you'll find out when you doing what you're supposed to do, God give you strength. And you like, how did I do it? I look right now. And I see I got maybe just a little bit of help. How did I do it when I was just me? With no ends, no money, no husband, no nothing. How did I make it?
Grace of God.
But God. And when you do that, he'll fix it. You'll be like, I didn't know. Keep on doing what he told you to do. Keep on loving people. Keep on being that I'm your nephew. Loving me like they do. Can't nobody love me like Mark. And no. And I bet I better say that. I got some more up my there. I better
A whole lot more.
You know, I get beat up because I be saying stuff. Yeah. You know you better not say that. You know you say this stuff, you be got the answers to this stuff. Now what
I just
you
want
mean?
my egg pie. That's all I want.
Jokes, y'all. Jokes, family.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to Miss Vee and Her Crew. We had Marcus in the house tonight.
Had a good
We
time.
feel so good when he's here with us. Come back and see us next week. We'll be right here.
Right here. Come on back.
The world has been searching for an answer. No one